Hola bandidos, ¿cómo estamos? Welcome to Mel's Magic Official. I'm Magic Mel, and this is Owl, one of my spirit guides. Welcome to episode 8 of season 8, double 8. How are you guys doing on this super full moon in Capricorn? We have a license to go cuckoo. I'm kidding. But it's definitely keeping me up these nights and giving me a boost of energy, which was missing. Or maybe the rest also helped. I was going to say, which was missing over the past 2 weeks. But again, there's a season for everything. Energy ebbs and flows, and it's wiser for us to go with it rather than to resist whatever we're at, whether it's the ebb or the, was it high tide or low tide. It's better to accept it and not fight against whatever is happening in the moment. Okay, last episode I spoke to you a little bit about the value of getting some coaching, the value of healing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch episode 7. But basically boils down to us realizing that we have a choice. Because usually when we're unhealed, we are replaying the past. Because a traumatic event from the past would have triggered a trauma response, a defense mechanism, a coping mechanism that wants to keep us safe, but that keeps on thinking that the traumatic event is still happening. So basically, we're not free in the present moment because we're reenacting the response to the traumatic event from the past. And don't we want to lead our lives, i.e., be the ones to steer the narrative in the direction of our lives? That's a valid question, because I know also that it's scary to be free and to really take accountability for our choices. I mentioned to you the book by Erich Fromm, in German, Die Furcht vor der Freiheit, the fear of freedom. It's easier in the short term to outsource authority, to outsource responsibility to something external to us. It comes at a high price, though, which is our freedom of choice, our own sovereignty. So for those of you who want to, are willing and are ready to empower yourselves to come back home to your own seat of power, which is inside of you, and to really be the author of your own life, the hero of your own life, do the work and get support. The second reason, good reason to heal, is because when you heal, the collective heals. Because again, society, the collective, is only as healthy as the individual. And we are only as strong as our weakest link in the end, because we are all connected. And the 5D, Christ consciousness, new earth, the new paradigm, is operating from this higher frequency that we can really only access when we reclaim our psychic, psychological soul fragments from different dimensions, different timelines, and different frozen aspects, timelines in which our soul aspects have been frozen, our energy has been frozen. It's only when we reclaim that energy into the now, right here, right now, that we can operate from the higher frequencies, which is joy, love, all the good stuff. It's worth it. It feels good, to say the least. Let's pull some cards on this full moon in Capricorn. I've definitely felt a shift in my own energy. I remember the reading we pulled from the Witch's Tarot The main card being was justice in reverse, asking us to take accountability, to look at our choices, to see what hasn't worked and how we want to take things forward, what needs to be balanced internally, with outer people, with our habits, with our routines, basically taking stock. And then we pull the Hermit, which is all about going inside, reconnecting with our truth, our inner light, our soul aspect. And from the Hermit, we pulled the Ace of Wands, which is all about new inspiration, new insight, and the Knight of Wands in reverse. I remember the cards because I pondered on them. I reflected on that reading. The Knight of Wands in reverse was all about, yes, moving forward, but this time not impulsively, not reckless, but taking on board the lessons that we've drawn from the past, from our past imbalanced actions, our excesses, our indulgences. Basically being wiser and moving forward. And that was a reading that was applicable on a personal level, but I also felt it's what we're going through as a collective. We're all asked to go inward, to do the work, to regroup, to reset, to resource ourselves and move ahead wiser. Yes, with inspiration, but also with the lessons we've learned along the way. Let's see what Haniel, Archangel of the Moon, has to share with you. I'm going to pull the cards on your Aska team with your Aska team. Remember, Aska with triple G, angels, spirit guides, God, goddesses, and ancestors. I can't even say it, it's that long. That's why acronym Aska. Let's be efficient. Connecting with your Aska team and Archangel Haniel. What message do you have for you watching? Tell me where you're sitting, where you're watching from. Comments box, guys. What message do you have for the beautiful soul at the other end of this screen or device? Thank you so much. I think it's the first, wow, that was fast. First super full moon of the year. Right, out came new moon in Gemini. It's the energy of the new moon in Gemini. Communication is key. It's a big topic. You know, I get it. It's not always easy to have difficult communications, difficult conversations. Sometimes we know that we should say something, but it's awkward, or we fear we're going to be rejected or misunderstood. But at the end of the day, if we have something to say, something to share, and we don't do it and swallow it, that will eat us up from the inside. Has that happened to you? Definitely has for me. We are all a universe per se, meaning there's nobody like you. There's nobody that operates in the same way as you do. In other words, you know yourself best. So for someone else to understand you, communication is key. Because we can't expect other people to read our minds. How can we build bridges with other people if we don't communicate? If we don't explain to them why we feel that way, what has been triggered, how we would like to be treated? Everyone is in their own world. So in order to build bridges, we need to communicate. And that starts with communicating with ourselves first. You know that I'm all on about reconnecting with yourself first. Your truth. And by truth, it means, what are you actually feeling? What are you really thinking and feeling? First, we gotta accept that to ourselves. And then the next step is to communicate that to someone else if the situation requires. When we heal, we also start to really value and validate what we're feeling. Because with healing comes self-acceptance, self-forgiveness, and self-worth. And once we value our feelings, our emotions, our thoughts, our opinion, then we take up more space. We're able to take up more space because we come to understand that we matter. You matter. You belong here. You are meant to take up space. I spoke to you in episode 7 about the new paradigm, the new earth, how it's important that we heal so that we can build interconnected relationships that are based on individuated, whole, holy, healthy beings, which we all are, but we just need to probably reclaim certain aspects and certain energies. We can only build those interconnected relationships if we value ourselves, if we value what we have to share, what to give, and if we value our own voice, our own thoughts, our own feelings, and learn to share that. At the risk of being misunderstood, at the risk of being rejected, at the risk of being criticized. That is where the work of validating ourselves, of affirming ourselves, of reassuring ourselves, of soothing ourselves is so important. Because as long as we outsource that validation, that acceptance, that approval from the outside, we will be dependent on that. And we will probably not share our truth in the fear of being rejected and in the dependence of that approval. Again, goes back to the importance of healing. When we heal, we know that we're valuable and that we have something to say and that it's important to share our truth, especially in building relationships that are built on truth, on reciprocity, on understanding, on giving and receiving. Again, the other person's not a mind reader. The other person will not know if he, she, they trespassed a boundary if you don't communicate that. You will make the lives of others easier if you actually communicate what you need. That being relationships that are nurturing, supportive, and in your highest good. Because if somebody does not accept your boundary, then they're basically not able to respect you. Then do you really need that relationship? But when we heal and we validate ourselves, we regulate our own nervous system, we know what we bring to the table, what we have to share. When we heal, we want to grow and build together. And then we communicate. Because again, nobody can read our minds. We need to let other people know what works, what doesn't work, what we need, what we're feeling. And trust that it will be received. And if it's not received, then it's an indicator that it's maybe the wrong relationship. However, do it for yourself. Communicate for yourself. Speak your truth for yourself. Because speaking the truth for yourself is healing. You're validating yourself. You're using your voice. You're opening your throat chakra. That chakra is usually quite blocked. It's been blocked in my life, big time. So one short sentence, but quite a lot to unpack here. You know, I also tell myself sometimes, I don't even know who's watching my videos. I can see the viewer count, but I don't know who exactly is watching. In the beginning, I was like, oh, you know, watching the counts. But somebody also told me, Melanie, it doesn't matter. Do it for yourself. And that was such a good reminder. To use my voice and speak from my experience and share what I feel and know is healing for myself. It's healing my throat chakra. And I do know that if you share yourself authentically, somebody out there will resonate with what you have to share. It doesn't matter how many people. What matters is that you use your voice, because you are a keynote in the symphony of the universe. And if you know of symphonies, we need all instruments to play. Every instrument is different and every instrument is valid and important. If one is missing out, symphony is off. So you are one of the keynotes in that symphony. Your truth is important. Your voice is important. You know, it's something we learn by just practicing. We don't need to get it right from the get-go. It's okay to mess up. I mean, in the beginning, the amount of times I communicated probably in the wrong way and was stumbling for words and couldn't find the right words and said in the wrong tone. It's okay. We got to forgive ourselves and the other person and the situation. Move on. Learn and move on. Not sit in resentment and sit in guilt and self-reproach and self-flagellation again. Is there something that you need to communicate to yourself, to someone else? Reflect on it. This is a message of Archangel Haniel. It came out for a reason. What needs to be communicated? What needs to be voiced? What needs to be shared? What needs to be articulated? What needs to be spoken out? Our voice is so powerful. Speech and imagination, need to think about it, but I think it's the two elements that set us apart from all other species. It's a powerful manifestation tool also, because our voice is vibration. Think about it. Let me know. What do you think needs to be communicated? How do you need to use your voice more? What can you do to open your throat chakra? Singing, chanting, opening a YouTube channel, talking, communicating, reading. Yeah, there's so many ways. Connecting with your truth and sharing your truth in whatever creative way it comes out. I mean, it doesn't have to be singing. Writing also is a way of communicating. It's spelling, literally. It's healing. I always tell you to encourage you to journal, because when we externalize our thoughts and see them on paper, we can get some distance. We can understand our thinking process, and we can change the narrative. Once you realize, like, oh gosh, I'm repeating a pattern here, an old, outdated way of thinking or believing, you can change the script, because we are the authors of our own story. What you say, think, speak, believe, and act out makes up your personality, your character, your destiny. So it's important. I'm going to leave it super short. Short and sweet, and something to reflect on. Communication is the key. Truth be told, the truth will set you free. It's a big phrase. Reflect on it. Venga. And get some coaching. Do the healing work. Whether it's with me, if you resonate with who I am, my keynote, message me. My email is in the description box below. If not, find somebody who resonates with you. So many out there now. It's a beautiful thing. And yeah, we're spoiled in the sense that we can choose who resonates with us. That's why it's also so important for you and everyone to share their voice, because you never know who will resonate specifically and especially with only you. There's a reason that you have your voice and your truth. Somebody out there will only resonate with what you have to share. So do the healing work, get support, therapists, coaches, other modalities, okay? You know also that I do tarot readings. Email me. If you want to purchase some of my beautiful, unique, heart-created artworks, email me. And otherwise, you know that I appreciate you liking, sharing, subscribing to my channel. It helps my channel grow. And if you feel like giving back, if you feel like supporting Mel's Magic Official, I really appreciate you donating to my channel, because we are operating outside of the 3D matrix and we're doing things differently. It's a way of giving and receiving, sharing our truth, saying yes to what we believe in, to what we value. The next paradigm is also built on the sacred economy, which means sharing our innate gifts and learning how to give money the frequency of abundance, the frequency of possibility, the frequency of building and collaborating rather than competition and greed. We have a choice what we value and what we invest in. So think about it. Think about how you use your money, what you value, what choices you make, because it is important. It's important what you say yes to, what you support with your choice. Okay, guys? So I'll leave you with that, and I'll see you for episode 9 coming up soon. I love you lots. Owl and I've got your back, and we're rolling on in season 8. Ciao.